So we'll get right on to the next speaker, which is my colleague and collaborator, Gale, and he'll tell us about the interesting subject on the border between science fiction and science in astrobiology.
Okay, my talk will not be a research report, but rather something more or less which we have written a letter of protest to one of the journals, the two main journals of astrobiology, and just ask you to join us on this. So the talk is on the boundary between science and science fiction. Humans have one characteristic which is much superior to the any computer we have, even the most sophisticated artificial intelligence, which is imagination. However, we mustn't allow this imagination to go too far. And what we were protesting against was a paper which came out very recently in the International Journal of Astrobiology, which claims to offer a solution to what is expected, that humanity may destroy the biosphere and we all will have to get onto a spaceship and go somewhere else to set up a new colony. Nothing new in this. There's lots and lots of science fiction books and papers and movies on the same subject. What Edwards was suggesting, he said it's something new, that instead of freezing humans for the long journey, he would freeze young embryos, human embryos. And when they arrived on the new planets, then the computer would give an order for the embryos to be warmed up, and they would then produce humans, and the computer would then teach the new people everything known in human knowledge, and so on and so forth, and that would have be the solution to the problem of what happens when we destroy our own biosphere. Yes, this was the paper actually as it came out in the International Journal of Astrobiology. We wrote a letter to the editors suggesting that this was far too much in the direction of science fiction and should not really be appearing in a science journal. And Rocco Mancinelli, the editor of International Journal of Astrobiology, said no, he doesn't want it to be a letter just to him. We should publish this, which he did, together with a reply from Edwards as to what he thinks about it. So Edwards put in a reply saying that his paper doesn't cross any science, known science, such as there is nothing which suggests that he goes on warp speed, which is well known from science fiction, which you press a button and the space travels at a number of times the speed of light, and so on and so forth. And he said it's all possible. However, it's not really possible in any real way, which using the known science and known technology of today, it just can't be done. And by way of showing you what we're thinking of, one particular example, the question is, could we colonize close by extrasolar system planets? I think we've just heard a question on this. We take the TRAPPIST-1 system, which is very well known in the last few years, which is relatively close to us, 39 light years away. Let's look at a very small calculation. The speed of light is about 300,000 kilometers a second. And the fastest space probe to date is about 50 kilometers per second. Now let's assume, together with Edwards, that there was be a big advance in the speed of probes. Let's say it's 10 times what it is known today, that instead of 50 kilometers per second, it would be 500 kilometers per second. Make that is about 0.00017 C, and the time to reach TRAPPIST-1 would be 23,000 years. And then, of course, you'd have to say another 39 years until they send back the signal that we have arrived. And the next signal will probably be that the TRAPPIST don't speak English, but never mind. Uh, um, my colleague Anna Randall mentioned the Proxima Centauri, which is the nearest sun to our own sun. Is only 4 light years away from us, and it does actually have a couple of planets which are quite promising from the point of view of habitable zones. But even to Proxima Centauri, it's going to take 2,300 years to reach them. Today, we know of no technology which will survive even a few tens of years in the cold and the radiation of space, and to think it would survive even 2,300 years, never mind, 23,000 years, and then the computer would then wake up and would revive these frozen embryos and grow them to the stage of humans and then teach them everything which humans know. This is really maybe good for a scenario for a science fiction movie, which should not be appearing in a science journal. So we would ask you, if you think the same, to join us in this. Thank you.